The sacred power of vulnerability. Why strength includes softness. Have you ever noticed how we glorify strength? How our society celebrates those who push through pain, who never falter, who carry impossible burdens without complaint. For generations, we've equated vulnerability with weakness. We've taught ourselves that to be strong means to be invulnerable, unbreakable, untouchable. But what if we've been wrong all along? I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Taiwana Jenkins, a visionary whose work has transformed how countless individuals approach life's deepest challenges. Through our conversation, she revealed something revolutionary, yet somehow deeply familiar. True strength isn't about being impenetrable, it's about having the courage to be seen, fully, authentically, vulnerably. Taiwana's remarkable insights have illuminated how perseverance paired with vulnerability creates a power that mere stoicism never could. Her impact extends far beyond individual transformation. She's helping reshape entire communities by championing authenticity as the foundation for meaningful connection and sustainable success. In a world that often demands we wear masks, Taiwan has become a beacon for those seeking to live with both courage and tenderness. When I first heard her speak about the power of vulnerability, something shifted inside me. It was like someone had finally given voice to a truth I'd always known but couldn't articulate. A truth that resonates in our bones but gets buried under expectations. We live in a world that demands perfection, a world that expects us to have it all together all the time. But beneath those expectations lies an exhausting reality, the constant performance, the masks we wear, the pain we hide. And nowhere is this burden heavier than for those society has designated as the strong ones, the ones who carry families, communities, organizations on their shoulders, the ones who are always expected to show up, to fix, to solve, to support, often at tremendous personal cost. Consider Narnike Pierre Grant, whose journey exemplifies this profound truth. As a Black woman entrepreneur, she faced systemic barriers at every turn: limited funding, underrepresentation, restricted access to resources that others take for granted. The conventional wisdom would suggest doubling down, working harder, never showing weakness. But Grant chose a different path. Instead of isolation, she built networks of community support. Instead of competition, she championed collaboration. She redefined what business leadership could look like by centering faith, resilience, and mutual upliftment. The strongest thing I ever did, Grant once shared, was admit I couldn't do it alone. That vulnerability became my greatest asset. The result? She helped spark a historic rise in Black women owned businesses. She shifted national conversations about economic opportunity. And perhaps most importantly, she broadened our understanding of what it means to lead, showing that vulnerability and community building are strengths, not weaknesses. This isn't just about business success, it's about human flourishing. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm fine when they're clearly not? How many times have you said it yourself? We've created a culture where admitting struggle feels dangerous, where asking for help feels like failure, where vulnerability feels like exposure rather than connection. Akia N knows this reality intimately. For years, she embodied the superwoman syndrome that plagues so many professional women, especially Black women. She masked her pain with stoicism. She projected strength at all costs. She believed vulnerability would undermine her leadership until she couldn't anymore. The facade became too heavy, the isolation too painful, the performance too exhausting. And in that breaking point came her breakthrough. When Akia finally risked sharing openly within trusted circles, something remarkable happened. Rather than losing respect, she gained deeper connection. Rather than appearing weak, she demonstrated profound courage. Rather than undermining her leadership, her authenticity enhanced it. I spent years thinking vulnerability would cost me everything, Akia revealed. Instead, it gave me the only things that truly matter: genuine connection, sustainable success, and the freedom to be fully human. She discovered what Taiwana Jenkins has been teaching all along. Vulnerability is not a liability, it's a superpower. By letting go of perfectionism and building supportive networks focused on listening rather than judgment, Akia found not just professional success, but sustainable fulfillment. She experienced less burnout. She developed more meaningful relationships, and she empowered others simply by being real about her struggles. Now, she advocates for mental health among entrepreneurs and helps create spaces where honesty is celebrated as courage, not weakness. Her vulnerability transformed not just her life, but entire workplace cultures. But let's be honest, vulnerability is scary. It requires tremendous courage. It demands faith, faith that showing up authentically won't lead to rejection or abandonment. And sometimes that faith gets tested. Sometimes the systems designed to support us fail. Sometimes the people we count on disappoint us. Sometimes the path forward seems impossibly dark. That's when prayer and perseverance become essential tools for transformation. Lacathia Harris embodies this truth. When she founded Labor of Love, she faced staggering obstacles. As a Black woman entrepreneur, she encountered loan denial rates that would have crushed many spirits. The traditional pathways to success seemed permanently blocked. But Harris refused to give up. She trusted that not now didn't mean never. She held on to faith that her vision mattered, that her work had purpose, that her community deserved better. Instead of surrendering to systemic barriers, she created new systems. She built collaborative networks providing capital access, mentorship, and market opportunities. She transformed isolation into community. The prayers I prayed in my darkest moments, Harris once reflected, weren't just about my success. They were about creating something larger than myself, a community where no one would have to face these barriers alone. Labor of Love became more than a business, it became a model ecosystem where collective advancement replaced individual struggle. A thriving hub uplifted many instead of just one. Harris helped dozens launch businesses who otherwise would have faced insurmountable barriers alone. She inspired similar community centered models nationwide, and she proved that healing and support can be built into entrepreneurship itself. Her story, like those of Grant and Akia, illustrates what Taiwana Jenkins has been teaching us. When we combine vulnerability with perseverance, when we embrace authenticity while refusing to give up, we access a power greater than either quality alone could provide. This isn't just inspirational theory, this is practical wisdom for surviving and thriving in a world that often feels designed to break us. So, what does this mean for you? For me? For all of us trying to navigate lives filled with both possibility and pain? First, it means never giving up on yourself, no matter how hard life gets. Even when circumstances seem insurmountable, perseverance and faith can open doors you never expected. The path may not look like what you imagined. The timeline may stretch longer than you hoped, But your journey matters. Your vision matters. You matter. Second, it means recognizing that prayer and pushing through pain are powerful tools for transformation. Trusting in divine timing, knowing that not now doesn't mean never, can sustain hope through the darkest valleys. There is purpose in your pain. There is meaning in your struggle. There is growth in your waiting. And third, perhaps most importantly, it means embracing authenticity and vulnerability as strengths, not weaknesses. It's okay to need support. It's okay to desire understanding. It's okay to seek true community where your struggles are heard, not dismissed or overshadowed by others' needs. The strongest people I know are not those who never fall. They're the ones who fall, who cry, who struggle, and who let others see it. They're the ones who reach out for help, who admit when they're not okay, who share their stories not despite the pain, but because of it. They're people like Taiwana Jenkins, who understand that vulnerability isn't just about personal healing, it's about collective transformation. So I challenge you today, disrupt the culture of false strength. When someone asks how you are, tell the truth, even when the truth is messy. Create spaces where others can do the same. Check on your strong friends, especially the ones who never ask for help. Offer them space without judgment. Listen not to respond, but to understand. And if you're that strong friend, if you're the one everyone else leans on, if you're the one who's been carrying it all, your vulnerability isn't weakness, it's revolutionary. Your authenticity isn't unprofessional, it's transformative. Your willingness to be seen in your full humanity isn't just for you, it's permission for everyone around you to do the same. This is the moment to reimagine what strength truly means, to embrace the paradox that our greatest power often emerges from our deepest vulnerability, to create communities where we don't just survive together, we thrive together. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people, it needs more authentic ones. It doesn't need more stoic strength, it needs more vulnerable courage. When you share your struggles, you give others permission to share theirs. When you admit your pain, you create space for collective healing. When you embrace your vulnerability, you access a strength greater than any armor could provide. This is the sacred power of vulnerability. This is the strength that includes softness. This is the courage to be seen fully, authentically, humanly. And it just might be the most transformative power we possess.